Hello, hombres. My name's L.A.zy. Okay, back to the letter. We're back with Marianne's little chapter, where she is being a professional like her usual self, and we're off to somewhere. I don't exactly know where. Either the Armagardi Mansion or somewhere else. The relationship tree doesn't show anything worthwhile. But yeah, in the last episode, we actually found out that Marianne apparently has her own demons in her head. Uh, like in the form of like very bad memories of someone she loved, but nonetheless there hasn't been anything else like in her mention, but who knows, maybe she will appear again. So without further ado, let's get into this. Riding to the Armagardi mansion in their rice is an awkward affair. Not only am I worried about scuffling the expensive leather seats, but I'm also worried about getting in the middle of another couple of spats. With the tension thick in the air, I can feel them starting at each other at any time. Nobody's saying anything. Up until Mr. Wright tells Val to turn the damn radio off. And for a moment I think that he might start. But instead he just stays quiet, so do the rest of us. In the end, the sufferable silence stays. Oh, so we're back at the mansion now. I've never been so glad to see a house. Stepping out of the car and up to the mansion meant the end of an uncomfortable ride, and I could finally take a deep breath of fresh air. The beauty of the place never fails to make me gaze in wonder every time I see it as well. Mrs. Wright moves toward the front door, keys in hand. I can already hear Mr. Wright plotting.
Alright, Hans, we're going to go in, but I want you to look around the place. Familiarize yourself with it. Know every nook and cranny, every inch of the lot. Go and see where we can put that vineyard and the other things we talked about. We'll want to know where to station security as well, so go around the perimeter and figure it out.
Scout the property and circle the perimeter on foot. You do know this is 46 acres of land, sir.
Well, you are not driving a car over the grass. Put those long, spidery legs of yours to good use. I didn't hire you to stand around and look intimidating. Go, mush.
Really? Really, man? Really? Someday I'd like to ask how Johannes can even stand and tolerate the man. Why does he just quit? Certainly the pay can't be that good. Even I'm a bit put off by our mutual employer, and the only thing that keeps me from bailing is the fact that we've already signed the contract. At least I'll only be working with him during the duration of the project. He works with them every day.
Sometimes I think you hired me to make me suffer for your amusement.
Someday I'd ask. I feel a bit bad for him. If it's any consolation, I'll be away from Mr. Wright for only a little while. There's the house itself. We're able to enter the mansion after a bit of standing out there in the sun. This wretched, strange sunlight that is far too alien and rare. It had been a bit of a problem with the missus not knowing which key was which. The first item on the agenda would be the grand staircase. It seemed sturdy during the open house, but a closer inspection might say otherwise. There are no obvious marks of damage nor wear and tear, probably rethreaded during renovations. Peeking under the grand carpet, the wood is properly installed with the bark placed down to prevent cupping. The target itself could use a vacuum though. Structural conditions, from what I can see without actually dismantling the thing, look to be in good shape, and the handrails and support posts are firm. The work on it should be commended. I can't look much more into the rest of the foyer, however, because Mr. Wright starts to hurry us into checking the dining hall.
So, what do you think? Certainly we can't turn this area into a garage.
Why? I mean, look at this place. It's a dining hall.
It's Jacobean architecture. I'd say these would be pilasters and not buttresses, but you never really know. They really liked mixing up these elements. You could say it was pretty avant-garde at the time. We might hit a support beam if we're not careful.
And in layman's terms?
From what I see here, we could risk great damage to the house if we try to turn the dining hall into a garage.
The man didn't look too pleased at this. Aw, his dream dashed away. His look of disappointment before he sighs and looks around the place with an air of defeat. When he moves to speak, I dread another unreasonable demand again.
This will stay a dining hall then. But if I may have another request instead, at least spruce the place up with some flowers, some plants, or something. Feels so old and dead in here.
Maybe because this place is so old and dead.
That's hardly unreasonable. Daffodils are a must, I presume.
The look that passes between the two of them, there's a genuine look of fondness there. It's the first time I've seen such an exchange between the two of them. If anyone are to see them like this, there's little doubt they loved each other.
Of course, and I want a garden full of them. Now, if you excuse me, I'd like to look at the rest of the house. I'll just be around here downstairs, if anybody needs me.
That leaves Miss Wright and I.
He's quite fond of them, you know.
I can imagine. He looked terribly upset when we told him he can't have his garage.
I meant the daffodils. We always have a vase full of them in every house we own. Somewhere, I'd like to think. They may be about his mother. He never talks about her. I don't even know her name.
There's a reason he doesn't talk about it.
He likes to flatter, claim that they remind him of me, but he's always loved the flowers, even before we married.
Much like the piano, I didn't take him for a person who liked flowers. Daffodils, least of all. What's next? We're going to find out how Mr. Wright saves kittens from burning buildings.
I'll go and snoop about upstairs. You go and do whatever it is that you have to do.
When she goes without even asking if I need her here, I'm left standing to stare at the walls. Really don't need to do a thorough inspection of the building itself. It isn't really a part of the interior designer's job. I can't read. But the architect in me is committed to doing this task with every project. If I'm going to make the living space to have both of them in function, I might as well make sure that the entirety of it is safe for my clients. Since I'm already here, I roam around the dining hall checking things off my punch list, if you will. When it's time to move on, I hesitate. Mr. Wright said he would be somewhere around here on the ground floor, and I really didn't want to be alone with whiskey. I have to look through the place eventually, sure, but on the other hand, I can do it later when he's gone. I can go upstairs if I want to. Check the ground floor, check the first floor. Let's go to the first floor. I've already seen enough of this floor during the open house. Of course, I know that's just a convenient excuse. I just don't want to be in the same room as whiskey anytime soon. So might as well just go upstairs first. The banisters on the grand staircase's landing are solid and at a proper height. Any lower they could be trouble. There's a small catch on the carpet though. As long as nobody tries to run down the stairs until it gets fixed, things should be alright. And stained glass? Art. Restored no doubt in the image for the last lady and Lord of Armengarde. Or it was supposed to be until Lady Charlotte's fiancé was brutally murdered. By a witch of all things, from what I've read. You'd think the historians of this place would be a lot more scrutinizing, filtering out stuff like that. I'm amazed they bothered with it, instead of replacing it with some generic cookie-cutter design. This entire piece alone would have cost roughly around 500, even £1 million. Lady Charlotte Armengarde and her beloved. Looking at the mosaic, it is not too far of a stretch of the imagination to believe that the depicted images could be Mr. and Mrs. Wright. It can be easily assumed as such when one does not know the history of the mansion. Really, a place like this should be protected by the government as a landmark. But what can I do about it? Oh, the attic is lit beyond that door. Walk into the east wing and try to go into the theater, but it's met with an obstacle. The obstacle that has locked doors. Two, and both of them are locked. I'd be frustrated, would be, if I already hadn't snuck off all the rights for having the real business meeting with Miss Cooper before we take a peek. With that, with what Mr. Wright wanted, we have to install a powerful projector, the type they use in cinemas, and the projection screen. The seats will have to be reupholstered. There to be any comfortable, and the walls will have to be covered in dark material. Paint, wallpaper, and install wall-to-wall carpeting. Really, of all the rooms I could be jealous of, it's this one. I just picture myself in there, watching old kung fu flicks on a weekend-long marathon. It makes me wonder what kind of movies Miss Wright would like. Rom-coms, perhaps. Her husband, on the other hand, I'd rather not think about it. In the middle of my notation and planning, I don't even realize that I'm not alone. So I'm caught standing in front of a locked door like a fool.
Were you meaning to go in there? I'm afraid we won't be able to open it up today.
Oh well, I wanted to, but it's fine. I can still survey the rest of the place.
Apologies, but the key was missing when they were handed over. They told us that they'd get right back to us with it.
What? But aren't they supposed to hand over all the keys once property changes hands? That can be grounds to file a complaint.
They were already kind enough to let us move in so early. There's no need to raise a fuss about it. Worst comes to worst, we can call for a locksmith.
The air is heavy and somber when she grows quiet and glances out the window, out towards the vast expanse that surrounded them would be their house, their home. Then she looks back at me with a sigh and bitter smile.
Flowers. Yellow flowers. Daffodils, dandelions, and sunflowers and the sort all up front. Just a whole garden of them. They'll make the house look lovely, won't they?
Of course. A garden is a wonderful addition to any home.
As I say this, her eyes roam over me, scrutinizing and thoughtful. I have to hold back the shiver that threatens to run down my spine being inspected so closely.
Yes, it must be nice.
We're still talking about the gardens, yes?
I mean not having to worry about what another person thinks of you.
What do you mean by that?
She lifts her hand and points to her wedding ring before it falls listlessly to her side.
Sometimes I wonder what would have happened if I didn't marry Luke. There'll be no fights about walk-in closets or silly helipads. I could do with this place as my heart desires until there's nothing but content. Then again, I wouldn't have bought this place if it wasn't a gift for him. I probably wouldn't even be in Luxbourne if it wasn't for him. Maybe I would have moved to London, Manchester, or Birmingham. I might have even left the country altogether.
Those are pretty great cities to be in.
France, Germany, Spain, Canada, Sweden, even America. The possibilities would have been endless.
I don't know what to say to that. What is there to say?
I'm sorry, I must sound so petty and ungrateful. I do love him. So very much, even if he can be a bit difficult at times.
Oh no, not at all. I'm just confused why you're telling me this, of all people.
Just a whim, I think. Just flights of fancy, that's all. Don't you ever think about one decision you've made in your life and wonder how much would change if you chose to do things differently?
Oh yeah, I think of that all the time. All the time.
I try not to dwell on the past, ma'am.
The keyword is try, of course. Thinking of the past brings up too many ghosts. Memories of her. The one you saw in their apartment, isn't it? And I do wonder what would change if I just say yes when she asked me. Maybe she'd still be with me. I return to the present just like I said, and try not to dwell on the past. Why are you deciding your own? It already seems simple enough. I mean, it doesn't have to be as difficult as she makes it out to be, right? My mind is with Hannah. Oh boy.
Why don't you decide on your own?
I mean, I meant nothing against Miss Fry, of course, the whiskey buggered me to no end. By law, she would be the owner of the house. Well, unless they signed a joint property ownership anyway, which is a rare thing as far as I know, especially among these highbrow types. Sure, they could actually love their spouse, I don't doubt the possibility, but money is money, and it makes people do the most horrible things sometimes.
It's your house. You can paint the whole place pink if you want, and there's not much he can do.
The somber expression she had changes to a look of contempt.
I could, but we are husband and wife. Equal partners in marriage, Marianne, though I can see that you don't understand. This is his home as much as it is mine. I'm not going to go behind his back over a room. And how dare you suggest that?
Oh boy, we kind of crossed the line, didn't we? How do you even talk her down without causing further offense? It's in my attempt to shake off my own trauma that I end up tripping right into tears. Because really I have no business meddling in the affairs of my clients, unless they involve interior design or architecture. Here I am opening my mouth and yapping. I do hate to see a good woman down.
That's not what I meant by it. I just mean that maybe you don't have to get the approval of your husband all the time. Or well, okay, fine. I know nothing about married life, Mrs. Wright. You're right about that. But I still think you're allowed your indulgences every now and then.
Of course, my form of indulgence meant buying old Slate's 78 RPM country records. Records which I don't even dare use them with my gramophone. We could very well be buying entire houses.
That's just my take on it. A perfect relationship is as rare as hen's teeth. You got what you got.
Teeth?
I mean, you're doing well enough without my advice. Sure, look it.
That looks to placate her somewhat. She looks away and starts to favor the view outside once more with a faraway look in her eyes.
Feel free to look around the rest of the house. Everything but the theatre should be open. Just call if there's need of me.
Of course, Mrs. Wright.
I really shouldn't have opened my big mouth in the first place. This sort of thing only gets me in trouble. Keep it clean, keep it simple, and stick to business. That's it. Be professional. But I failed to do that just because of her pretty face. She turns to leave, she glances back at me before disappearing to the foyer. Look out the window from where she was standing, and then move on. Alone with nothing but my thoughts and her.
Finally, some peace and quiet. Thought the old biddy would never leave.
It's utter madness, this hearing things. I reckon it's stress, though I don't know what exactly I'm stressed about. Meaning Miss Wright has really thrown me for a loop, I'd be worried. I'm developing some sort of psychosis or disorder while I call a doctor. But hopefully it isn't that. Not right here, not right now. I mean, it could be just a person talking cricket. The conscience, so to speak. I'm only noticing it now. Though if it isn't very helpful. Pushing the dilemma of voices in my head aside, I'll go back to work. I can barely make a few steps before everything tilts and shifts. I don't really stumble, but it feels like I'm thrown off my feet and the rest of the world just follows. Though my feet stay firmly on the ground, if I stay mostly upright, I feel like I've been heaved and put off balance. I have to close my eyes in the hopes of willing the sudden sense of vertigo away, but when I opened them... Oh boy, the house took an image of her own. Or I don't feel any less sick because of the sight that greets me. Blood dripped from the walls and the ceiling, pooling downwards and seeping through the curtains and the carpet. A wave of nausea, stronger than the last, sits me along with the overpowering stench of blood and gore. I want to bolt. The rational part of my head is telling me to flee. I would have gladly done as it asked, if only I didn't hear her.
In here, Marianne. Come on, I have something to show you.
I could have ignored it. I would have ignored it. If only I heard it in my head. But I swear that this time it's coming from one of the rooms. Much further into the study. And I feel compelled to pay attention. I can't just turn around and leave. Not when it's her. I don't even think as I follow the sound of her voice. That's the girl. Lorraine. So that's her name. Lovely Amanda Lorraine Laserfiona. Amanda Lorraine Laserfiona. She was my friend, the only one that I had at St. Anne's. Yeah, I did read in the profile that she only had one friend. I was a scholar, a charity case in the school for privileged and prestigious young girls. They all looked down on me if they cared to look at me or acknowledge my presence at all except her.
Oh, stop your crying. You know better than to listen to Maeve. Why, I gotta teach that butterface a lesson.
Wait, no, lass! I don't want you getting into trouble with the sisters again!
Relax. It's not like I'm going to stomp her and her lackey's arses flat like last time.
Come on, let's just go back to our dorm room. I don't want to be on my Tobler while you go get yourself punished.
Oh.
You'll be fine. Gip's there with you.
Lorraine was there when I needed her, through my highs and lows. Having her as a friend made being in a strange school away from my father all the more tolerable. She thought this poor, helpless girl who was kept down, shunned by everyone else, and being the kind soul that she was, she rescued me. So brave, so beautiful. She was something else.
I'll eat all the chocolates stashed away in your closet if you go.
I can get more. Just don't go complaining to me if you get a tummy ache because of that.
Well, you don't want to get detention on a weekend, do you? It's a Friday. We can go to town and have some karaoke. And we can have a go at druids and demons again. You're not going to miss that just because of Maeve, are you?
Aw, sometimes I question what I did to deserve a friend like her. In the darkest corners of my mind, where traitorous thoughts lurked, I thought that she only felt sorry for me. Maybe she was just being a good Samaritan, offering a helping hand. And perhaps I had been too selfish to return the favor.
You have a point. I'll just kick her arse on Monday then.
That's not what I mean!
I know what you mean, Em.
What the hell even happened to her?
Wait, where are you going? You just told me you wouldn't cause trouble.
I still have something to do. Don't worry, it's not like I'm going to burn down her dorm room or something criminal like that. I'm just going to talk to her. Maybe I'll make it so that her room smells like a dog's air biscuit. That'll make it an excellent weekend. I'll see you in a bit, Marianne. Lots of tobblers.
What's toddler? Never got that. Because when she told me that she loved me, I couldn't admit that I felt the same way. Not to her, not even to myself. It was wrong. I was taught that way. Husband and wife, one man and woman. Unclean and pure. I prayed for her and I, for her sins and for salvation. I wanted to apologize for disregarding her feelings so callously. Must have been like a slap to the face for her. Life had gotten in the way. The exams, which were trivial in hindsight now, took top priority. I had to keep my grades up to keep my scholarship. For my father. I told myself I would apologize to her when those were over. That I needed to focus first and not let anything distract me. It had been easy, but she avoided me like a plague. She was upset, I get that. Back to this hellhole. I thought I had the time to make things right, but...
At 7 in the morning, students found a 5th year dead. Assumed to have fallen from her dormitory window.
They told us it was an accident. That was the official statement. But I knew better. She was dead because of me.
May have had a hook and I kicked the bucket, didn't
Oh boy.
Ding dong, the witch is dead!
She had, though she didn't say which, Lorraine.
But at least Maeve had the courage to admit how she felt about me.
I don't even know how long I've been stuck here in the trance. In the mirror, Lorraine smiles at me. She's as beautiful as I remember her. But then... Oh boy! I feel bile rise up in my throat as her clean image warps into how she looked like when they found her dead, lying in the cold hard ground. So either she suicided or they killed her? Good Saint Dimphia, a great wonder worker in every affliction of mind and body, help me. I'm seeing things, hearing things. Am I going completely insane? Looking everywhere but at her. I hope and pray that it's enough to will whatever this is to go away. This isn't immediately registered in my head that I can't just leave.
You, on the other hand, can't even look me in the eye.
This isn't real. You're not. You're dead!
I'm dead. Because of you. And you won't even look at me. Look at me.
My breathing quickens, and I can feel my heart being torn apart by her words.
I'm so sorry, Lorraine.
Look at me!
I can't take it because she's right. It was my fault. The least I can do is look what I have done. Lorraine, broken and bleeding, looks at me with such hate-filled eyes. A natural smile stretches across her face and I can only see malice in it. Whoa! Then she lunges as the mirror ripples around her form, the glass parting like the water's surface around her. She grips my shoulders and I can feel her nails dig deep, sharp enough through the fabric of my clothes.
There you are.
Damn it. I'm gonna lose.
You're coming with me.
Shit! Damn it. Okay, now at least I know where I'm going. Okay. Tap.
Why don't you love me?
Oof. Apologies spilled through my lips as tears cloud my vision. But I won't give in to this madness. With every bit of strength I have left, I struggle to get away from her. Fear grips and threatens to choke me. I endure, I escape. Without turning back, I stumble back out. In my panic, I don't even care to look where I'm going. I don't see any relationships here. With one hand on the wall steadying me, I just hobble as fast as I can away from the study. Away from that mirror. Freedom is bittersweet. I'm free from the madness, it seems, as running out into the hallway reveals to be in pristine condition. It means I'm turning my back on Lorraine again. I have no plans of stopping, not until I know I'm safe. And if that means walking back to Luxborn, as ridiculous as the idea is, so be it. Someone suddenly grabs hold of me, however. Fingers digging deep into my shoulder, and my heart nearly stops. My body seizes and I nearly scream.
Marianne! You look awful. I mean, not awful, but did something happen? Are you alright?
This is right.
Oh boy. Without thinking, I saw comfort seeing that it wasn't her. It's a sudden impulsive thing to do, and had I been in better condition, I wouldn't even dare of doing such a thing. I didn't know what else to do. I know I shouldn't, but warmth or scent, they grounded me. She's intoxicating.
Marianne, what's going on? Oh, you're shaking like a leaf.
Tremors run through my body as soon as my mind realized I'm no longer in danger. I wanted to cry, scream about what I have seen, but like a scared child, I couldn't control myself. Mind couldn't reconcile with what I had seen. I should just write it off as a figment of my imagination, yet I could still feel her nails cutting through my skin.
Are you sick? Should I call for a doctor?
I'm sorry, Mrs. Wright. Just feeling a little woozy and lightheaded is all.
Let's get you somewhere to sit down then. Come on, don't worry, I have you.
A lie, but a whole lot less complicated than telling her I was attacked by a dead girl. When the feeling of fear eases off, I feel nothing but shame for my actions. I quickly back away as I clear my throat and nod my thanks.
I think I've had enough looking around. If it's all right with you and Mr. Wright, I'll meet you outside.
If you're sure, I'll have the car started. Do you need assistance heading downstairs?
I'm all right, ma'am. Just go on ahead and I'll be right there.
It seems to say her worries, though only for a brief second. Before she heads down, don't miss the concerned glance shoots my way, and quickly under another smile. I wouldn't begrudge her for it, that worry. The look on my face must have been strange enough, sight on its own, even if I'm still reeling from whatever that was. Her voice still whispers in my ears. After all these years, she's still... No, Marianne. Shaking my head, thoughts, I drag in a breath and follow shortly after Miss Wright. Whatever has happened in the past is long gone, only memories now. And those are things I can no longer bring back. It's already dark as we make our way out of the mansion. With no lights, we're only illuminated by the headlamps of the Wright's car, and she starts up above us. The sight of them helps me compose myself much more than several minutes of being alone did. The car's engine was running, yet two still stand out on the lawn. Miss Wright is busy, eyes up to the stars, and Mr. Wright, arms crossed, has his eyes down on the ground. It is the crunch of the grass under my heels that brings their attention to me.
About time, what took you so long? A minute longer and I'd think the house swallowed you all up.
Oh, hush, dear. I'm sure she has her reasons. Marianne doesn't seem the sort to idle.
Sorry, I was just checking on something important.
See, business is business and they take time, love. You should know that better than anyone. So, Marianne, what do you think? Are you the woman for the job? I know we already signed papers hiring you, but I want to be 100% sure that you are committed.
I glanced back towards the mansion, or what I seen there, or rather, who I thought I saw there, because there's just no way. Not to mention how I acted towards Miss Wright, for goodness sake. I should feel the slightest bit hesitant. I was lucky. I've seen enough films to know what happens when a promiscuous woman enters a haunted house. This is my chance to turn it down, make an excuse and say I'm not up to the task, and to take care of my old sick father. Just pay the fine, which is probably outrageous for a contract like this, and let it go. I should turn it down. For some obstinate reason I can't. Same manner, I haven't let go of her, of the regret that has shadowed me since that day. Much as I hate to admit it, even to myself, seeing her again, the mischievous glint in her eyes, the loose tendrils of her hair curled around her forehead, it's something I've terribly missed, and now that it's here, almost within arm's reach, my father would tell me, sometimes you just simply have to go through with it, consequences be damned. And well, I really don't have any logical reason to say no. At least not something inclined like the Wright would want to hear from a professional designer.
It's certainly an interesting project. You can be sure I'm seeing it through the end.
Such dedication! Oh, I do love the determination.
Fills it with determination.
You were always determined like that, weren't you?
Hearing her voice again sends a chill running down my back. Can't wait for this day to be over. Okay, what do we got? Marianne examined the first floor upon arrival of the mansion. After small talk to hand right, Marianne headed for the study. As she saw a ghost of her past reflected in the mirror. Despite that, she gave her word that she would see the project until the end. Oh boy. From the mansion and through Anselm, I rode to them in silence. And as soon as we hit city proper, I asked to be dropped off and bid them good night. Probably best if I didn't stay too long in confined space between Miss and Mr. Wright. Both of them seemed to cause me serious trouble, and if the project had been any less interesting or grand, I would have dropped it without a second thought. Would I? Shouldn't I? Won't. I assured them that my place isn't that far off, and I have to fight off the urge to roll my eyes and blend whiskey towards me with a smirk. But even in my own home, peace is elusive, as is sleep. I lie awake thinking of what I saw in that mansion. Any relationships? Nope, nothing on that. Of who I saw. So much as hear a single whisper from her, so much as see a wisp of her hair. I'm afraid I'll go mad. And then that happens, and it makes me feel hollow. For 2 nights I've had trouble sleeping. But it's only one morning, and fatigue has already let me rest, that I'm reminded of what terrifies me so. October 26, Wednesday. In my restless dreams, I see that mirror, one in the study, and in it I see her, I see them. Lorraine and Hannah. Hannah and Lorraine.
Poor pathetic Marianne. Work, work, work. She'll work herself to death.
See, she doesn't listen. That's all she did.
Jesus.
Look at what happened to me.
They talk among themselves, with cruel smiles and venomous tongues. Rather to themselves, 2 heads, 1 body. Horrible mockery of these women as if they were one and the same.
More's the pity. Life goes on and goes out, and she doesn't even see it.
Do you think she'll even realize when she's kicked the bucket herself?
When they saw a person that has had a hard time telling what they're in a dream, it's true often enough. In this bizarre sight, and with the obvious implication that this isn't real, can't help but feel distress.
Likely. Is that any way to live at all? She might as well be dead.
Cruel fate that she's alive and I'm... well...
When they speak into each other's ear, tones low and hushed, I still hear them whisper this day. The whispers pervade the air, heavy and oppressive. Wait. That music is pretty creepy as well. They bury and dig into my head like tiny maggots, wanting their way into my skull. It's only then I take notice of my presence. Eyes turn toward me, I can only feel smaller to the scrutiny. Caricature smiles, each on their faces mimicking each other grotesquely.
Oh, Marianne! How long have you been standing there, dearie?
Come join us, Marianne. We won't bite. Unless you ask, that is.
Have you been looking at us? Spying? How scandalous. Such a naughty girl.
I'm sure you were just waiting for something lewd to happen, weren't you?
You know she will not admit it. She thinks it wrong. You've said it so yourself.
Yes. She thought me wrong, impure, abnormal, because I loved her.
Oh! My breath hishes and I open my mouth to protest, but they stop me, screeching. Maybe the hole from cracks, lines spiring across the surface.
Do not lie! We know the gluttonous thoughts you try to deny, girl. All those desires you bury beneath that sickening guilt. You act the martyr when you turn the bed you lie in into your own hedonistic hell. You are nothing but a tainted soul with filth-stained flesh held together by falsehood and pride.
Jesus, they look livid, and it looks like they would lunge. I wake, feeling the wind had been knocked out of me. With a groan, I squint and find a certain fluff ball sitting on my chest looking as pleased as a punch. Oh, the kitty cat. She's the overlady of cats, meaning the despair and destruction of nice furniture. Though I can't stay mad at Her Majesty because it feels like she did something good this time. I was having a nightmare, but I can't even remember what it was about. I'm trying to recall this terrible pin in my stomach. Maybe it's probably better that I don't remember.
Good morning, Beruthiel. Who's the good kitty?
Beruthiel.
Are you hungry? Is that why you woke me up?
Content purr comes from a sweet deer before he jumps off the bed and trots towards the kitchen. On the other hand, it takes me a bit more before I roll out of bed and start my day. Mornings before work is always a quiet affair. Shower first and a mug of coffee and a bowl of oats. Sometimes I do stretches and I always check my work email. The rides will be moving into the mansion today. I don't think paperwork is officially done yet, but it isn't too far-fetched to think they were allowed to start their move despite that. Rich people like them will always find ways to get what they want after all.
I'll be leaving you again today, Beth. So you behave and make sure not to shred up my new covers, okay? And don't worry, I didn't forget tomorrow is Black Cat Day, so I'll throw you a party. But only if you behave like a proper lady.
She barely gives me a glance as I say that before going back to her own food. Cats. Still better than humans, most of the time. Too bad I have to work with humans. Okay, we're all the way back in the mansion. And you know what? I'm gonna save my progress now, just in case. And I'm gonna end this video here. So apparently that girl is her best friend. And she actually loved her more than a friend, but Marianne was like she was too, how do I put this? She was too like conservative, like in her own beliefs to actually see that. And she constantly like blames herself like for the fact that Lorraine died and she wasn't like able to appreciate her more than just a friend. Now I see what the heck that means. But I wonder if that death was truly an accident or someone else is doing. So, without further ado, that's the end of this video. Thank you all who watched. And hopefully, I will see you all next time. Bye-bye.